So I'm here with Jim Poterba. Jim, welcome. And this is at the end of a long 2.5 days of the Neemrana conference, the 16th Neemrana conference. And we're just absolutely delighted that you and Marty Feldstein and 12 other NBER scholars could join us here in Neemrana. And we've had an absolutely fantastic session or set of sessions. And I just wanted to get a sense of how you feel about this.
You know, I think, Shekhar, this is a meeting which is just extraordinary in the way it enables North American academics, researchers who are affiliated with the NBER, to come to India and to learn from the best and the brightest of Indian economics research, as well as fantastic policymakers. It is frankly astonishing to see the time that some of the policymakers are willing to carve out to talk with the research group, which includes many NCAER and NCAER researchers, as well as, of course, the NBER group. And for me, personally, this is a wonderful opportunity to learn about what's happening in economic policy here in India, to find out the way in which research, both done here within India and from outside, from North America and elsewhere, is coming to bear on economic policy questions. And it is such an exciting time in the Indian economy, both because of the change in government and the sense that there are real opportunities for economic growth and for policy reform. I know that all of the NBER participants were simply thrilled to be able to come and have the chance to learn about what's happening here and also to experience the wonderful country.
And I guess the true affirmation I felt this time of the kind of Neemrana spirit that brought us together 16 years back was the Prime Minister agreeing to spend 90 minutes along with his Finance Minister with the NBER contingent and the NCAER fellows. And that to me, I mean, I've never experienced it myself, this kind of commitment to learning and to be able to share experiences. So for me, that was a true affirmation of that Neemrana spirit.
I agree. I mean, that was just, it was an incredible demonstration of what I think many of us had suspected before coming, which was that there really was a tremendous interest and appetite in trying to bring new economic analysis to bear on policy design in a whole host of different settings. But in some ways, it's beyond the wildest dreams to arrive on the first day in Delhi to have a meeting arranged with the Prime Minister and with you and your team. But I think for many of the NBER participants, it just drove home the real appetite for learning and trying to roll up the sleeves and figure out how to take some of these research findings and bring them to policy. So it was remarkable that something like that could be set up. The reaction after the fact, of course, was tremendous enthusiasm for what happened. Yeah.
I want to end with one last thing, which is what I love about Neemrana is the ability to both look at absolutely new issues. And so Matthew Glenska comes to mind, something that we'd not thought about, but I'm sure it's going to open up a line of inquiry and thinking about the role of media in a policy reform process that is fraught with all kinds of risks and all kinds of potential. And also going back to very solid themes of fiscal policy and monetary operations that clearly the experience in the United States has such a lot of information to provide to the Indian policymakers. So I think on both counts, new areas as well as going over things that we've had tremendous experience on both sides, both are extremely exciting for me.
No, I mean, absolutely. And anyway, as you well know, Shekhar, right, Neemrana is to India what Jackson Hole is to the United States for economic policy discussion. But I thought, you know, in the first session that we had at this meeting, Thomas Sargent, the Nobel laureate, began by quoting from John Maynard Keynes' essay on Indian currency and telling the audience about some of the important lessons that Keynes had drawn from his time in India and how those lessons may still have important validity and how the community of scholars that was gathered here should be thinking about those. One of the last sessions, as you mentioned, included Matthew Genskow, the latest winner of the John Bates Clark Medal from the American Economic Association, talking about media and the evolution of the internet and print media and how that's changing the way news and political discourse takes place. So I very much felt with those two things bookending the discussion that we had this long historical sweep on questions of monetary policy and fiscal policy that was starting with, you know, going back over 100 years to the work by John Maynard canes, and then looking forward to how do we all think about the challenges that the internet and other changing media and technologies are posing. Really just an extraordinary sweep in terms of what we handle during the meetings. So,
Well, let me again thank NBER for
great.
coming.
Thank you for
It's
having
a
us.
wonderful evening.
Wonderful to be hosted here. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye-bye.